Hey everybody, Brooks from Drag Times here. Welcome back to the channel. So Dodge has released their final call. If you haven't seen this yet, it's the Dodge Challenger SRT Demon 170. And this is the final muscle car from Dodge, or probably from anybody, before everything pretty much goes electric. And Dodge came out with a bang here. They launched the car out in Las Vegas. I missed it by just a day. I was just out in Las Vegas. Too bad I couldn't be there. But I got all the details here. I'm going to tell you how to find one of these online and find your dealer and allocation, and kind of go over what I've seen so far with regards to crazy price gouging. Like, it is just unbelievable. All right, so Dodge Demon 170. 170 comes from using E85 fuel. So on the original Demon, you had to put race gas in to get the full 840 horsepower. This one uses that E85, and since that comes from alcohol and grain, like 170 proof, that's where they came up with the Demon 170 name. Now, I don't know, my opinion is they probably could have come up with a cooler name. I know the Ghoul was an option, or the Angel, and you know, although it's pretty much the same car, it adds a lot of horsepower, and I just feel like if you're going to send it off, give it a more unique name. But it is what it is. It's the Demon 170. It's got here 1,025 horsepower, 945 foot-pounds of torque. 0 to 60 they claim is the quickest production car ever, 1.66 seconds. And it launches with over 2 G's, of course, lifting the wheels off the line. And quarter mile comes in the 8, so 8.91 at over 151 miles an hour. Now, I know most of you are saying, well, you know, they said the Demon, when it originally came out, ran 9.6, and everyone was running low 10s. Finally, someone got 9.6 in the most perfect of conditions. And I imagine that's pretty much going to be the same thing here. You better have the best weather, the best prep, the best tires, a really good driver, really knows how to launch, adjust all the settings, and get that perfect thing just to get in the 8s. I imagine most of these cars are probably going to run, you know, in the mid-9s at probably 147 miles an hour. And while that's pretty good, it's definitely not in the 8s. So it'll be interesting to see just how long it takes someone to finally get in the 8s. Now, I want one of these cars, and I made some calls, and I can't find one at MSRP at all. And what Dodge is doing to kind of, and what they did with the Demon is they said anyone who orders a car at MSRP will get their cars made first. They're making 3,300 of these cars, with 3,300 going to the US and 300 going to Canada. They say they will make up to that amount, no more. So if they run out of parts or production time takes too long, they can't go through it all, they will make less, because they're prioritizing the people who are paying MSRP first. Those guys will get their cars, and those who are paying over will get them later. So that's trying to incentivize the dealer to, hey, if you want to sell these cars, sell them at MSRP, because you might not sell them at all. And I guess that's what they're doing now. I also heard that possibly if you were an original Demon owner and you still have the car, you will get priority. And that might only be like 1,000 people who still have the car who are original owners. And they will let you VIN match it too. So if you got VIN 170, you can get VIN 170 for your Demon 170, which is actually pretty cool to have both cars. I was offered one anywhere from $50,000 over all the way up to $200,000 over. I did make an Instagram post when the car was released to kind of get feedback on it, and I said, you know, DM me if you got any allocations. And sure enough, I got a couple dealers who buzzed me, and one said, oh, I'll give it to you at $300,000. That's $200,000 over MSRP. I was like, yeah, no thank you. I mean, honestly, like, it's a bargain at $96,000, no doubt, but at $300,000, I mean, you can buy a Lamborghini or a McLaren, or, you know, some other cars that are doing more than just kind of drag racing. So let's look at some more of the specs here. This is kind of all the different stuff. It's got a lot of changes from the actual Dodge Demon. Obviously, it makes a lot more horsepower. It's got a different engine, of course, a bigger blower. I think 22 pounds of boost or something like that, what I read. And here's the exterior colors you can get. There are a bunch of choices. I would love to see yellow personally, but I think if I'm going to get one, I'm definitely going either with this blue, but which is a little brighter. Of course, red is definitely an option. All my cars are red. So either red or the green. I'm thinking the green. And you can have these different graphics package here. I would definitely go with the satin painted hood and roof. That's $3,500. There are not a lot of options on this car at all. And then you can go with some interior options here. Premium, you know, $6,000 for the leather. And then, of course, if you want a sunroof, you definitely don't want to do that and add the weight. But you probably do want to add the seat back in for $1 to have a passenger seat, so you'll have 2 seats. Another option on this car, $11,495 for carbon fiber 2-piece wheels. I mean, if you're going to go all the way and you want that 8-second pass, you're probably going to need these, so you got to add that. So overall, you know, when you build this out, it comes out to like maybe, I don't know, $115,000 with the wheels and some of the interior options. Total bargain for 1,000 horsepower, E85 running car, popping wheelies, and running possibly 8s in the quarter mile. Now, of course, on the street, this car's probably going to be totally undrivable. I drove the original Demon on the street, and as soon as you touch the throttle at 50%, just totally lights up the tires. And that was with 840 horsepower. If you're jumping up to over 1,000, you're going to get the same kind of tire burning rubber performance on the street. You're going to have to drive this car on a track, prepped, with everything to possibly get good passes in the car, but that's what it's about. You can also add, after you get the car, a parachute, because if you go over 150 miles in the quarter mile, 150 miles an hour in the quarter mile, you need a parachute. That doesn't come direct with Dodge, but it's kind of an add-on, and they've kind of made brackets, I believe, so you can add that on pretty easily. So you can have a street legal car running around with a parachute. Really, really cool. I am definitely interested in it. If there's any dealers out there that want to sell me a car, hey, make comments in here, send me an email, info@dragtimes.com. I'm sure we can work out some promotional things for you and get me a car. So definitely interested. Don't want to pay over. I've got offers anywhere from 50 over to 200 over. Obviously, I'm going to pay as least as possible. Now, if you want to find your own Dodge Demon, all you have to do is go down to the Dodge website and hit the horsepower locator, and that will bring you to this page. And you can just type in your zip code and then select SRT Demon 170. And this is pretty cool. I haven't seen this elsewhere where it's so easy. It lists every dealer in the country and exactly how many orders they have available. So you can see by me, you got some Dodge 8, 8, 5, 3, 6, 10 available. These are all kind of near me. So there's definitely a lot of cars available down in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. Now, if you keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, it just keeps going and it gets farther and farther away. So, I mean, you can find some dealers, you know, here, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, they get one. And, you know, if you just keep calling around, maybe you'll find one who will sell must be, because they actually want to get the car sold instead of waiting, possibly not selling a car at all. Now, one thing to consider, if you were an original Demon owner and they do give priority allocations to those people who still have the cars, then that's interesting, because then maybe that would be an extra allocation that you could take to any dealer you want and basically say, hey, you know, you weren't going to get this allocation anyways, so why not just sell it on MSRP? Otherwise, you don't get the business. So if that's the model, then I think that could really help out the, you know, long-time Demon owners who probably should deserve to have one of these cars at MSRP. So I think that's a pretty cool way to do it. I know if they've already kind of allocated all these dealer options, it'll be interesting to see if they all add up, or there's leftover ones for those people who already had the Demon, still have it, and get that priority, and they can just shop it around to the dealer who finally say, hey, we weren't to get that allocation anyways, we'll sell it to you at MSRP, and let's go. So pretty cool. So find your own Dodge Demon. Just go to the website, type in your zip code, and choose SRT Demon 170. And you can cycle through and call all these dealers and hope to see if one would sell it to MSRP. I have a feeling all these dealers have their long-term customers they're going to prioritize first. Me personally, yeah, I'm not a big Dodge guy. I mean, I've had Dodge Vipers, but those was years ago. So I'm definitely not in anyone's top queue to purchase one of these cars. That being said, hey, buzz me, and I'd be super interested to pick up one of these. I think it's awesome. You know I'm into electric cars and exotics, but this is the last of the muscle cars. There'll never be anything like this again, and I think it would be something that's going to be great to stick around for a long time in my garage. And obviously, being drag times, it'd be pretty cool to bring this out and do a lot of races with it. I do have some other friends who are definitely getting the cars, so it's not like you're not going to see drag races with the Demon on the channel. Of course you will. We're going to get hold of those and race it against everything. I'm sure the biggest one you're going to want to see is Dodge Demon versus, you know, well, the Tesla Plaid. And I think obviously the Tesla Plaid is a lot more consistent. And while the Demon can certainly beat it in the perfect conditions, I'm going to put my money on the Tesla Plaid 2 out of 3 races. Heads up against whoever we got. Herman Demonology, my friend Andrew has got a yellow one, yellow old one. I'm sure he's getting one, and some other people. So we're definitely going to see an awesome set of Dodge Demon 170 races on drag times, whether I get a car or not. So interestingly enough, they did do a couple passes in Las Vegas down the drag strip, but they didn't light up the boards. Obviously, Las Vegas is not a good track to put records out on. It's at elevation, and the weather's usually not that good, so the DA is not perfect for those conditions. I don't blame them for not putting up times. If you're saying you're going to run 8s, you better run 8s, and it is what it is. It's not going to run 8s in all those different conditions. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think long term this car is going to be super value, even though they're making a lot of them. I mean, 3,000 cars. That is a lot of cars to be made for the US, and basically a car that's, you could drive it in the street, but you probably don't want to. So I have a feeling after the whole hype kind of dies down and they're making the cars just like the original Dodge Demon. I know people who got them in MSRP towards the end after the hype kind of died down, but I think for this one being the last one, the most powerful one, running 8s, long term, this is going to be an awesome car to hold on. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Dodge Demon 170 and these prices that are going upwards of $300,000. That dealer in Tampa that reached out to me, man, I cannot believe they want that much money. Maybe they'll get it. I personally don't think it's worth that money, and I don't think a lot of people are going to pay for that. And if they do, they're going to be pushed to the end of the line, and they might not get a car at all. So there you go. Put in the comments what you think of this car. Do you think you should add one to the garage? And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. Helps the video on the channel, and we'll see you next video.